Assalamu alaikum and a good day to all of you. Thank you to all of you for tuning in. A wise person asked me, why am I making these videos? What's my purpose? What am I trying to achieve? Well, information sharing is an obvious reason, an obvious motivation, but to me, it's more than this. All the subjects on which I have made videos in the Science and History series, there are infinitely more information and details in each. We have barely scratched the surface on these topics. But the idea for me is to raise curiosity. If even one person, after seeing any of my videos, says, this sounds interesting, let me find out more about it, and starts looking for more information. Uh, this would be the greatest return I can expect from my efforts. Thank you all. Now let's get on with this episode. What if I told you that one sweet craving reshaped the world? Sugar didn't just sweeten desserts, it built fortunes, created empires, and fueled one of the darkest traits in human history. Sugarcane is ancient. It was first cultivated in India, and from there, knowledge spread east to China and west to the Islamic world. Arab traders refined sugar and introduced it into Europe during the Crusades. But for centuries, sugar in Europe was a rare spice, as precious as medicine, sold in tiny amounts to the wealthy. Well, that changed after 1492. When Columbus carried sugarcane to the Caribbean, the plant found paradise. The soil was rich, the climate was perfect, and suddenly sugar could be produced on a massive scale. By the 1600s, a transformation had begun. No longer a luxury for kings and nobles, sugar became a daily habit. Europeans stirred it into tea from China, mixed it with coffee from Arabia, blended it with chocolate from the Americas, and baked it into cakes and sweets. Demand skyrocketed. Plantations spread like wildfire in Brazil and the Caribbean islands. Sugar became so valuable, it was actually called white gold. By the 18th century, sugar alone made up to 20% of all European imports. The tiny sugar islands of the Caribbean often produced more wealth than all of North America combined. But this sweetness came at a terrible price. Sugarcane is one of the most demanding crops in the world. It requires cutting tall stalks under the burning sun, hauling tons of cane, and boiling it in scorching cauldrons to make crystals. The native populations of the Americas, already devastated by disease, as we discussed, were too few to supply the labor. And so the planters turned to Africa. Thus began the Atlantic slave trade, one of the darkest chapters in history. Between the 1500s and 1800s, it's estimated that around 12.5 million Africans were shipped across the Atlantic. Nearly two-thirds of them were sent to sugar plantations. The voyage itself, the Middle Passage, was a nightmare. Chained in suffocating holds, many died of disease, starvation, or abuse even before they reached land. Those who survived were sold at auction, like we auction things, and forced into lives of relentless labor. In Jamaica, Barbados, and Brazil, the life expectancy of an enslaved worker was often less than 8 years after arrival. Death was common, but profits were immense. Sugar financed European cities, industries, and even wars. It sweetened Europe, but its cost was counted in millions of broken lives. And sugar was only the beginning. The plantation system it created soon spread to other crops. Tobacco in Virginia and Maryland became a major export by the 1600s, drawing on the same system of enslaved labor. We will discuss more on tobacco in the next episode. And later, cotton became king. By the 1800s, cotton from American South fed the textile mills of Britain, turning slavery into the backbone of industrial wealth. In the Americas, sugar may have started the system, but cotton and tobacco kept it alive. Sugar gave Europe sweetness, but left Africa and the Americas with scars that still remain. It was a revolution of taste, money, and power, but also of suffering and cruelty. And sugar was only the beginning. A single leaf turned into gold for some and a slow poison for others. Tobacco. Tobacco became the cash crop that built empires and hooked the worlds. This is the story we will explore in the next episode, the part 6, Tobacco, a fortune and a curse. Thanks for watching. Stay curious and Allah Hafiz.